Hi everyone, Tams here. Some of you that follow me on Instagram may have recently noticed that I've been sharing several photographs of a journal that I am calling my Everything Journal. And the reason I have been sharing that is because I was actually asked to review a new notebook that is now available on Amazon. And I agreed to do this because the price point is very nice. As you all know, if you've been following me, I really am a big fan of the Midori Traveler's notebooks. And I understand that a lot of my viewers, and I totally understand this, these are quite expensive. These are not inexpensive notebooks. I do love them. I love the quality. I love the paper. But when given the option to play with a more affordable travel notebook, I agreed to do that and share that with you guys. So this is the Yosemy Traveler's Notebook. It is new to the United States Amazon people. And I want to tell you a little bit about it. I was asked to review it and I was asked to show how I would use it. So I'm happy to do that. Now, first off, let's talk about the size. You can see it's very comparable to the Midori Passport. Okay. And this cover, all right, is not leather. It is a faux leather versus the leather covers of the Midori. As far as price points, this notebook is available for less than $10. And in comparison, usually, if you are familiar with the Midori products, usually just one insert is around anywhere from $6 to $8. So if you were in the market for something a little more affordable, this may be an option for you, and I'm going to talk a little more about it. Okay, real quick, let's talk about the cover. I'm a big fan of anything that looks like Indiana Jones may have used it. So when they first sent me the information about the notebook, I really did like the cover. It is faux leather, but I think it's very charming. It comes with two nice charms, and these are pretty substantial, so they're super cute. It does have an inscription on here that says, "While there is life, there is hope, freedom." So it's a very charming cover. It is faux leather, just so you know. The paper, real quick, because you know I'm a big paper nerd. The paper in the description on Amazon says craft, spelled with a C, not a K. But I would tell you it is very comparable to the paper that is in the Midori Camel. If you've ever tried out a Camel, I enjoy the Camel. So you can see the color is not too far off. I believe this is probably a dyed paper just based on looking at it. It is quite smooth though, and I'm going to go into my pen test for you so you can see I was pleasantly surprised, because a lot of times when I love craft paper, when I get craft journals, the paper is not always the best quality, and so you're limited to just one type of pen that you can use. But I am pleasantly surprised. This is very smooth paper. Not to bore you, my background is in pulp and paper science. I did work for the paper industry for many years. So if you're a paper nerd, I do believe that this was probably super calendared because it's very smooth. But I don't know for sure. I'm just going by the way it looks and feels. So I'm going to open it up and go to my pen test. Okay, so I tried out several different pens. Pens that I use on a regular basis: a Faber-Castell artist pen, a Jelly Roll pen, and then several fountain pens. And I also do the Sharpie test always, even though most paper fails. Usually, the only thing that bled through was the Sharpie, and just barely. So you can see the other pen inks did not bleed, and you can get an idea of how they look. I do have some very particular fountain pen friends. I do not know if this will be up to your standards, but there's just a look at that. And then the test that was the most showing was my calligraphy test. I used my calligraphy dip pen and I just knew it was going to feather, but it actually turned out pretty nice. The other test I like to do is I like to stamp with rubber stamps and see if it bleeds through. And there's a slight showing or ghosting, however you want to describe it, for rubber stamps, but not bad. In fact, I find that most of my rubber stamps bleed through a lot of different nice papers that I can spend a lot of money for. So anyway, the only thing I'm a little concerned with is the binding. So I want to show you the book, because it's got the little strings back here. It's not bound like you would normally see. So each of the ends have been bound to the faux leather here. So to give it a full test, I decided to really chunk it up. Now the description on Amazon says this can be used for all sorts of things, collaging, stickers, what have you. So I am in the process of giving it a full test. I have not had time to use it for very long, but I've used it for a little over a week, and I've decided to use this as my everything journal. And an everything journal, I got this idea from my good friend Legally Inked on Instagram. And she has this wonderful chunky journal that's been with her forever, and she just puts anything and everything in there, and I've always loved it. It has no rhyme or reason. It's mostly, the only rhyme or reason is it's probably stationary writing themed. So that is what I have started to do. I'll quickly flip through. And the reason I want to chunk this thing up is I want to see how well it will hold up. And so far so good. I've got the washi tape that has been sent to me from various pen pals so far. I've got my catalog of sealing wax colors. This was a very popular picture on Instagram. I've just got notes and quotes and whatever comes to mind, bits and bob. Today, for instance, I was looking at a friend's pictures from Paris, and she posted a picture at the Louvre by a particular set of statues, and I had that exact same pose when I was in Paris, and I had just shown it to someone, so it's a little bit of I don't know, serendipity going on there. So I decided to do a little more research on those particular statues. And that's the type of thing that I'm including in this. Just whatever hits me each day. I don't want to think about it too much. I just want to have fun. Maybe put things that come to me in the mail. Maybe do some ink swabbing, that sort of thing. But I did want to share with you there is a little more affordable version of a notebook that sort of mimics the travel notebooks that we all know and love, especially if you're into, what I call the Indiana Jones old world travel book. But I will link this below. Again, this is the Yosemy Travel Notebook, and I'll link it below so you can take a look at it on Amazon. But this is how I'm using it, and I hope this was helpful. Thanks, guys. Bye.